Yo, what's going on, party people? It's your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. We're gonna be taking a listen to Within Destruction's newest album, Lotus. Very excited about this one. This band I've had on to interview. Big shout outs to Howie. Love that dude. He was just a pleasure to talk to. And so, at the time, I think when I was talking to him, I think Nightmare was the only song that was out at the current time. And then when I released the interview, I believe Survival had just come out. So, I have only really listened to Nightmare and Survival. In terms of the singles, I haven't listened to the one Dying World featuring Little Lotus. So there's plenty of songs on this album that I haven't listened to yet. So very stoked to get into it with all of y'all. Hopefully we don't get DMCA'd. If we do, big sad, but you were here. So then you can let YouTube know I got DMCA'd. But anyway, loved this band. I loved Yokoi so much. And I feel like this one thus far, based off of the singles, been good. So I'm very excited to delve into it a little bit more. We're going to go through all the tracks on the album. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. If you hear meowing, my cat is currently being a little turd head. So shout outs to Meatball. But yeah, I'm very stoked to get into this album. Again, long time coming. And let me know if you have listened to the whole album. Let me know what your favorites are in the comments or in the live chat if you're coming to hang out live here. Appreciate y'all if you are hanging out in the live chat. But if not, if you're watching this after the fact, I really do appreciate it. There's also a link to go purchase the album. It's on cassette. I think it's also on vinyl. It's on CD. Anything you can think of, it's out there. Also, I'm going to let my cat out because he's being a... Come on. Go. No, you're not. Listen, if you're a cat owner, you understand my pain. But anyway, very excited to get into this album. I think, and I know I keep saying it, but I really am excited to get into this album. But I really enjoyed Yokoi so much. I beat that album into the ground. And so I'm hoping that with this album, I am going to do the same exact thing and beat it into the ground. So very excited. If you enjoyed this live reaction, review, things of that nature, make sure to subscribe, follow on social media. I'm doing a ton of these, so make sure to let me know in the comments, in the live chat, which albums you would like me to do next. The ones I have on the docket, of course, the new Bill Murray record, Counterparts' newest record. There's a few others. Fit for a King, I think, would be really interesting. I like the singles thus far. I think there's maybe like one or two more albums before the year's over with. Oh, Dayseeker's newest album. So we got a few more, which I'm very excited about. So let me know in the comments what you'd like me to do next. But anyway, we're going to get into the first track, Lotus. I will, again, leave links in the description to go find out about Within Destruction. I'll also leave a link to go watch the interview with Howie, my man, my dude. But we're going to go through all the tracks, give them a listen, and then you're going to let me know what you think. So let's get into the first track, the title track, the big track of the album, track number 1 of 12, Lotus. Let's give it a listen. Stupid heavy. Ooh, what a sick beat. are they gonna hit us with a dumb heavy part? We're gonna find out. Ooh, that was super sick. Not what I was expecting. Alright guys, if you're just tuning in, first track, Heat. We love it. This song is called Lotus, off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. Title track. You know, we starting off with a hot track. This album came out today, so please, if you can go purchase it, stream it, listen to it, whatever, buy it, do it, your thing, definitely worth checking out. But I really thought this one was tight. At the beginning of the song, I was a little bit like, okay, what are they gonna do? What, you know, how are they gonna switch it up? And when talking to Howie, it was cool that he said this is kind of like the middle ground between like Yokoi and like older material, and you can definitely hear that sort of influence of their previous work and then Yokoi, which I love. And the way that they incorporate like beats, like trap beats, is undeniably good. And I think that this song is a very good indicator of doing that, like incorporation of beats and the way that they incorporate like death metal and like deathcore kind of sounds into their music. I know that they did that on the last album, but this feels like a really nice like follow up to what they were already doing already. The only thing that I thought was really interesting, at least from the song itself, was or one of the things that I thought was interesting was the bridge. I thought that was very sick. I almost thought they were just gonna hit me with like a stupid breakdown, but which is great. I love when they just hit me with the dummy, like thick, like track, like blast beats, like crazy like what you expect from them, right? And this one was really neat. I love the like real like heavy sub, like distorted bass. I thought that was really tight. Again, incorporating a lot of that sort of trap element into their music. And I've always appreciated the way that like the beat kind of has this insane kind of rhythm to it as well. I think they keep with that sort of insane energy. I will say as well too, in terms of the chorus, I thought that was really nice. I like the sort of dissonant overtones of that song. In terms of the screaming, I do feel like there is like a Corey Taylor, like Slipknot-esque kind of vibe going on there, which I think is really interesting as well. And it's a nice change of pace from what you typically expect from them. I think they switched it up enough to keep it, I would say, like a cousin of Yokoi thus far. We're only one track in, so I feel like I can't make that deliberation quite yet. But I will say, for right now, really enjoyed this intro song / first song of the album to get you kind of into it all together. But yeah, this one was really tight. Enjoyed this one a lot. So we're gonna get into the second song on the album, Toxic. If you have joined us, we're gonna go through with the entire album, so hopefully you enjoy it. Ooh, nice riff. Great clean. Those double fades. So just tell me if this mind remains. It's taking me away. It's taking me away. Can you feel it turning? Does it hurt you slow? Make it go away. It never fucking goes away. So filthy. Oh! Man, that's dumb. The only thing that waits for us in the end. So just tell me if this pain remains. It's taking me away. It's taking me away. Can you feel it turning? Does it hurt you? Make it go away. Make it go away. It never fucking goes away. Ooh. Guys, if you just tuned in, that was track number 2 off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. Out now. Go check it out. Links in the description. But this one feels, I would say, pretty decent departure from what you know. If you've been with the band for a while, which I personally haven't been, I will say I got more into them in their previous work, Yokoi, but I did go back and listen to some of their old stuff, and I really enjoyed those as well. But I feel like the Yokoi stuff was really on point with what I enjoyed and what I currently enjoy now, so I felt like that was cool. But getting back to Toxic, this one feels like the most metalcore-ish track, if I had to argue that. It kind of reaches in that sort of realm of... I feel like it's kind of like on the borderline between like deathcore and like metalcore. It's like kind of like the hybrid version of that, but yeah, it was really nice. I also like that Rock, their vocalist, he's doing cleans. I thought that was really interesting, just because I feel like in previous work, he really didn't do too many cleans to my imagination here. You can let me know in the comments if he has done cleans, but I would say like that won't really surprise me. And then I think Survival also has cleans in it as well, so I do like that they are taking a chance and doing different things, vocally. I think that that's really neat. This definitely has a strong sort of like Linkin Park kind of feel to it. It's especially more on the synth sort of stuff, even like a little like Bring Me the Horizon-esque, as well as like Enter Shikari, people who like, Born of Osiris, people who incorporate a lot of like synthy sort of elements into their music. I feel like this song particularly has that sort of sound or that sort of vibe to it. And then guitar wise, just stupid dumb heavy. Same with Luca on the drums, he's just ripping it. I will say like too, again, as I mentioned previously, this feels the most metalcore-ish, and I like that, just the dichotomy of, like, you know, the screams and the cleans. There's mostly screaming in the verses, and then in the chorus they kind of hit you with that, like, soaring, like, you know, atypical sort of metalcore chorus, which is great. You know, I love that sort of stuff, so that to me is on point. I will say, probably for other people, if you're not really into that sort of stuff, or you might feel like this is a departure of sound, certainly can absolutely feel free on that, certainly, because there is a little bit of lack of, like, really dumb heavy parts, but I will say we were only like 2 tracks into the album, so I imagine there are some just, like, disgusting heavy tracks. But overall, I like that Rock really stepped out of his comfort zone in terms of doing this type of song, because I feel like for the longest time, especially with, like, Yokoi, they're just used to doing these like blast beat kind of slam tracks, which are great, like it, but I like that they're incorporating some, like, new metal aspects and, like, different electronic elements into their music. Again, falling off the rise of that in their previous record, Yokoi. I feel like these kind of mirror each other in that sort of way, but you know, thus far, really enjoy this one. I don't think that this one is particularly the best song on the album, but I also won't say it's the worst song on the album. We still have many more to go, but this one is solid all around. I feel like this is one that will do super well live, I imagine, just because that chorus, everybody can sing along to it, and it'd be cool how it would translate live. I think their backtracking elements would be really interesting. Because I can imagine they're not actually doing, like, all the synth parts. It's just, you know, someone backtracking the songs, which are great, and I think it kind of fills out the sound. But, like, overall, really enjoyed this one. Again, not particularly my favorite one, but not one of the worst ones. So we are gonna get into track number 3, which is Nightmare. This is one of the singles that I had listened to, really enjoyed that one, but haven't listened to it in a little bit, so we're gonna get a little bit of a refresher course on this one. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorites are in the comments or in the chat. Love to know what you guys' thoughts are on it. But here, let's give Nightmare a listen. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is track number 3 of 12 off the newest album, Within Destruction's newest album, Lotus. I should have said Lotus Within Destruction, but I feel like that would have been complicated. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. If you are joining live, if you're not, also thank you as well. Chef's kiss. Love you guys. Anyway, as I mentioned at the top of this live review, this was one of the songs that I listened to right after I had Howie on at the time. Loved this song. It was definitely a different song from, again, their previous stuff, as I mentioned before. Very similarly to Toxic. This is the first song, one of the first couple songs that have clean vocals on it, from my man Rock. And I thought that it was really cool. I think this one, now having the context that I have in terms of the album, I think that this one feels, I feel like they did a good job in picking this as one of the singles to come out, because I do feel like it has a good indicator of how the rest of the album kind of mixes together. This song feels like an amalgamation of Toxic and Lotus together, except for I would say that the more deathcore elements shine a little bit brighter in this song than maybe Lotus. Well, not Lotus. Lotus is dumb heavy, but I would say the deathcore sort of notes and sounds shine a little bit more in Toxic. In Nightmare compared to Toxic, I cannot speak tonight. I got back from the gym very recently, and I think my brain is going through a shutdown mode. But anyway, enough about me. Getting back to the song. Nightmare does feel like a heavier version of Toxic in that aspect, and also borrows a lot more from their sort of deathcore sound. And I think this is the perfect middle ground of like the trap beats mixed with like the deathcore sound. I think they do a really good job of incorporating those two completely different sounds into like just a song that is not only catchy but also like really stupid, like just dumb heavy. I will say the person that shines the most, at least in my opinion, on this song, I would say Luca absolutely killed it. His drumming on this song was so good, and like some of the fills, like I would say more specifically in that second verse, were so tight. Like it's so clean and so tight, and I loved that. I thought his drumming on this song was ridiculous, and really excited to see him kind of break out a little bit more in this album. I think there are definitely songs on this album that we haven't listened to yet that could have some like really sick parts from Lucas, so definitely about it. But I like the chorus a lot. I think that's really what like initially sold me, because when I first listened to this, I didn't do any sort of reaction on it, but I will say that there is just a good mix of like, again, that heavy nature of what they do, but then also incorporating the cleans and like having a soaring chorus, very similarly to Toxic. I do like that, and I think that this does a better job of incorporating those two sounds than I feel like Toxic did. Toxic is more of that metalcore sound. This is more of that deathcore sound that you know and love from Within Destruction. So I think this is just Toxic 2.0 if I had to argue, but I did like Toxic a lot. I don't want to dog shit on it because I thought I think it's a solid song certainly, but Nightmare I feel like is a little bit of a better version of that, and just some of the like 808s, the trap beats, like the way that they incorporated different things, especially in that bridge portion, that was really tight. But the thing that I forgot to point out, that I'd like to point out as well, is the layered screams in this song are nuts. Like I had the opportunity to kind of just listen to it like separated in this song while we were live, and I was just like, what the hell is going on here? It's so cool. I like that he does that like real like deep low kind of guttural sound, and then kind of hits that like mid to high range, which just offers this beautiful like separation, which I think is really nice. So dug this. If you couldn't tell already, this one I dug a lot initially, and then going back and listening to it now, it's just as good. So really enjoyed this one. Nightmare, go check it out. Go check out Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. Links below. So go give it a listen. But anyway, we're going to move it on to track number 4. This is the other single that released. I did listen to this one as well, but this one's been a long time coming, and I haven't listened to this one in a bit. Very similarly to Nightmare, just kind of like put these on the back burner for now, and then obviously do this reaction for you guys and review for it. So we're going to move into track number 4, which is Survival. So let's give it a listen. Oh, that's cool. I like that intro. I love this ending. This is so sick. Oh my god. Holy shit. I forgot how hard that ending is. That's so sick. Anyway, guys, if you just tuned in, this is track number 4 off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus, out now everywhere. Go check it out. Go stream it. Go listen to it. Hang out with me. We're going to listen to the rest of it. If not, rewind it and then watch the rest with me. Anyway, besides the point. God, this one was great. I liked this one a lot. I forgot how much Survival was just ripping. This is definitely one of the heavier of the singles that were released. If I remember correctly, I think Dying World is pretty, like, I mean, it's heavy, but, like, it's, like, maybe, like, metalcore kind of heavy, I would argue. But haven't listened to it fully. I've listened to, like, clips, so I feel like maybe I'm just kind of getting, like, a smidge, you know? But I really like this one. This feels definitely heavier than I would put this pretty close to Lotus in terms of heaviness, which I think is really great. I think that thus far it's been cool that Rock has been doing a lot of clean vocals, and I think there are a few other songs that do have more of a clean focus, at least. I mean, obviously he's not going to completely get rid of screaming, but I think that some of the songs have a little bit more of a clean focal point, I would argue. You know, there's definitely a lot more cleans than the previous work. But I like that. And I also think that Rock does some really cool vocals on this song particularly. I like he does that like sort of scream yell that a lot of artists in the scene typically do, but I think he just does it super well. And then the piece de resistance, the best portion of the song has to be that last breakdown at the end. If you just tuned in, you already know how dumb heavy that ending is, but so good. I love the Dragon Ball Z reference. That's fire. We all know, big anime lover out here, but that was really tight. And then the thing that I like the most about that breakdown at the end was just the changes in rhythm. There's like 2 different sections where the rhythm changes, and I think that can be pretty difficult to navigate, but they do a great job of incorporating different like BPMs and things of that nature into this song. So really dug this one a lot. Heavy, aggressive, punchy, fun. I love the end that has like this kind of like bit crushed like ending, super like nostalgic, video game-esque. But yeah, Rock killed it vocal wise, but like the production on this song was just monstrous. And I don't know who did the mix and master on this, but whoever did, you deserve an award, because I feel like it's difficult to have like a band with like an 8-string guitar player, a drummer, and then a vocalist. You know, there's got to be some sort of like depth associated with like how the songs are going to play out. And thus far, I feel like the mix and master on those have been great. I might be a little bit biased because I am listening to it in like pretty decent. I mean, obviously they're like kind of getting old and I need to get new headphones, but I think I would argue like the actual like sound of the headphones are still good, and the sounds that are coming out of the headphones are awesome. So I love the like depth of the track. I think there's a lot more like bass, like sub bass involved, because again, you have like an 8-string guitar and you want to kind of make it sound more full. So I do appreciate the mix and mastering on this album, because I think it's really tight. But yeah, love the anime reference, of course, as you know here. But I think this one was a nice like nice up there with Lotus, I would argue. So like, you know, we got Lotus at the top thus far. I probably put Survival second, Nightmare third, and then Toxic last thus far. But again, we still got a large majority of this album to go through, so I'm very excited. But let me know in the comments, guys, what your favorite songs are. And we're gonna get into the next track, Scars. This one's a new one. Haven't listened to this one, but I'm excited to get into it. So let's give it a listen. This is track number 5, guys, off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. Let's give it a listen. Very Born of Osiris-esque. Oh, that 8-string. You are my only shelter. When I was scared, you were the light that dwelled inside the darkness. You were my everything. I needed to survive in this world of corruption. But now you're gone. Yeah, this is very impressive. Jokon, Born of Osiris. Nice, like that chorus. Nice, sick rhythm. Oh, alright. The double bass is going off right now. Alright. Hit me with them soaring choruses. Alright. Let's go, my man. Woo. Oh. Man, Howie, my God. Oh, that one was tight. Guys, if you're just tuning in, this is track number 5 off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. This one was a fun one. I like this one. You know, I think it's like, again, I know I keep referencing Toxic, but this like feels like a much more antiquated version of that one, in the best way possible. I think it's got like the perfect mix of like heavy, like a great soaring chorus, a awesome guitar solo, Howie coming out of nowhere with that ripper, love it. And I love the like kind of like Egyptian like kind of vibe, very like Chokran, or like Born of Osiris or Rivers of Nile kind of vibe, you know, which I definitely dig, and you don't really get to hear that too often, so I do like the incorporation of that. I will also say, like, sonically as well, this is like the tightest song on the album. The breakdowns are tough, I love it, but then at the same point, I think Rock is killing it on the clean vocals. My God, did you hear that second chorus where he hits that like the layers of the clean vocals were really tight, but like that second chorus where he hits like that higher note, oh man, that was great. I love it. You know, I think that was really tight. And I think it just shows off like his ability as a clean vocalist is like actually really good, because I don't know how much he practiced in terms of like clean singing, but I would argue he's doing a really great job of incorporating that into Within Destruction's music. I know a lot of people are probably going to get like a little bit upset about me saying that, but I do like the incorporation of it. Like, would I expect like them to do every song like that? Probably not, but you know, thus far it's been like a couple different songs that have clean vocals in it, and they fit well. Like, I think that they can incorporate clean vocals. I don't know if whether or not that makes them more of a metalcore band now, or if that makes them more like, you know, metalcore with like some deathcore influences. Listen, I don't really care. I feel like genre lines are a little bit blurred out anyway, so, you know, tomato, but I dug this song a ton. I think this one is definitely up there with one of my favorites. It's got one of the best choruses in the whole album thus far, and I highly doubt it will be beat, but who knows? Maybe, you know, maybe I'll be surprised and there will be a banger on here. But yeah, this one was like, this is what I kind of associate this band with now in terms of sounds going further, because I feel like Nightmare and Survival have those heavy elements, but then they also have clean vocals. Same with Toxic as well. Like, their inclusion of clean vocals, I don't feel like is just a one-off thing. I do feel like they're gonna incorporate it more, and just I think sometimes with screamers, you know, you can kind of hit a certain threshold in terms of like abilities on what you do. I kind of find this very similarly to Fit for a King. You know, Ryan was doing a lot of the screaming, and then Tuck was handling a lot of the clean vocals, and then Ryan wanted to kind of expand his, you know, musical abilities, and so he started doing clean vocals. So I think there is a necessity for it. in the aspect of like screaming can be difficult on your vocal cords, especially if you don't know how to scream very well. That is like a big thing, and that's probably why a lot of bands kind of convert into more of that like hard rock kind of like metalcore-ish sort of stuff, because it's way easier on their vocals, and it allows them to still continue to be a band and do stuff. So I do appreciate that. Do I wish that every band did that? Probably not, because I do like some really just dumb heavy bands, but they do a good job of incorporating those sounds. And again, I like the kind of like real like Egyptian like kind of sound, like that real like Phrygian, I believe is the mode music phrase that incorporates a lot of that sort of like Egyptian sort of like phrasing guitar wise and like music wise. But yeah, this one was great. I like the I love the riffs. That solo again from Howard was wicked. I love it. And was unexpected. I didn't expect him to have I know he's a very talented guitar player, but I was not expecting that at all. So that was really nice to hear that, and just like hear him just rip up a nice solo. So dug this one. This one's probably pretty close to my favorite on the album thus far, but we still got 6 more tracks to get into. Speaking of which, we're going to move to track number 6. This one's called Revenge, so let's give it a listen. What tuning is this here? This is so low. All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, track number 6, Revenge, off of Within's Destruction's newest record, Lotus. This one was solid. I thought this one was really good, actually. I think this song arguably has the most clean singing on the album thus far. I imagine this next one with Little Lotus will probably have like a decent amount of clean singing, or maybe not. Don't know entirely, but we're gonna get into it certainly in a second. But this one felt the most like metalcore esque, which is totally fine. I think they kind of ride that line between like metalcore and deathcore anyway. But this one shows off a lot of Rock's clean singing, which is really interesting. And I think it, with the added benefit of layering the tracks, I think it's really cool to hear, like, you know, like in the choruses, you can hear like his main, obviously, singing voice, but then the next go around, when I listened to the second chorus, it was cool to hear like some of the more overtone, like vocals, you know, at the top, you know, in the more higher register of his vocals, and that was really cool. I like that the layering is there, so you can hear his abilities as a vocalist grow, and you can hear that in like the separation of the different like sounds and stuff like that. The other thing that I like to point out that I mentioned at the top of this reaction portion of that song was, man, I don't even know what tuning this is, but it's like, it sounds so low. It's wild. Like I don't know. Like they must be in like, if I had to guess, I want to say they're in like drop C. Like I imagine it's like an E. I imagine it's like an 8-string guitar, and then it's like dropped. It's gotta be like, there's no way it's like normal like 8-string tuning, like E, drop E. I don't think so. I feel like it's either drop C, or I feel like it's either drop D or drop C. Anyway, I digress. It's not important, but like, this song just sonically sounds heavier. There's a lot more low end on this track that I think other songs really just don't have. This one definitely had a lot of low end, you know, portions of the song, but this one I think is the most experimental they've done, in terms of like, you know, this album particularly, and I think within Destruction as a whole. There are some moments, again, that are just really heavy, but I would say a large majority of this is pretty melodic, which is, again, a pretty interesting departure from what they previously did. And I do feel like they aren't relying so much on the like the beat making aspect of the songs. I feel like this one is more, I feel like thus far, being halfway through the album, this feels more it feels more thought out in the way that they wanted to approach this album, if that makes sense. Like, there's something about this album that is a little bit more thought out in terms of the structures of the songs, the way that things hit a certain way. I think I think whoever they did production wise really kind of tried to like narrow down what they're trying to do and accentuate the really like big drops, but also at the same point really trying to highlight different things on this album that they haven't done on previous works. Like, I think the electronic element is here to stay, certainly, but I think it makes its ways in different songs. Like, for example, this one, I feel like it takes more of a backseat, but you could listen to a song like Lotus or like Nightmare, where there's a little bit more of a focal point on it. Even like Survival, like, this still has it, but it's like reserved as opposed to some of the other songs. Like, this one is like the rock song, if I had to kind of like narrow it down. And I mean rock as in their vocalist, not like rock, like, you know, rock. That was a terrible joke. I shouldn't have made that. But anyway, we're going to move on because, you know, we love dad jokes here. But anyway, this one, V good. Again, I kind of put it in the same level as maybe a slightly above Toxic. I think it was good. I like the clean vocals a lot, and I think that every song that we've listened to thus far, there's been an ability to grow as an artist, and I think collectively this band has grown a lot since Yokoi, and I feel like this is a cool departure from the previous album, so I like the fact that they didn't want to try to do the same thing, but I think that sometimes it's at the cost of trying to play to too many fields. Like, there is some stuff for metalcore fans, there is stuff for like deathcore fans, there is stuff for like trap people, but I feel like they have like separated them in some way a little bit, and then you can hear like, okay, this song feels more metalcore-ish, but it has like clean singing in it, and then the other song could be like, okay, this is more metalcore-ish sound wise, but like vocally it has more of a deathcore overtone to it, and I think there's like I think the way that they move the Venn diagram of Within Destruction, like I think it kind of morphed a little bit since the previous album, which is always good to hear. I like when bands really, I wouldn't say stray from what they know and what they do well, but I do like when bands take risks, and I feel like this album is very risky, but also at the same time I think it's very much in the camp of what they do. Like there are certain elements that feel very Within Destruction-esque, but then there's curveballs that are like, okay, well, we're gonna add clean singing into this chorus, what do you think about that? And they do it. So I like that, and I think you got to give them a lot of credit for trying to do something different. So especially with people, I would argue from what I could see, there is definitely a cult following to Yokoi, which is great because I'm one of those people. But yeah, I think if they're able to find some sort of middle ground before this album's over with, it will be solid. But enough about Revenge. I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent, but we're going to go into track number 7, which is Dying World. This one features Little Lotus. I know they were very stoked on this one. So the music video is very interesting as well. Chibi style, Within Destruction homies. And it's very interesting. I haven't watched the whole thing, but we're going to give this song a listen because I think low-key hyped that it's going to be good, but I'm also like high-key ready to be disappointed a little bit. Not a lot, just a little. So let's get into this one. Dying World featuring Little Lotus, track number 7 off of Within Destruction's newest album, Lotus. Let her do.
How does it feel when you disappear and promise the night
All right, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is track number 7 off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. This one is called Dying World, and it features Little Lotus, ironically enough. This one was interesting. The beginning portion of the song was very melodic and very soft, which I almost thought, like, were they gonna do something like real, like, real melodic and real, like, vibey. And I think they kind of struck somewhere in the middle. I like that the song opens up with Little Lotus. I thought that was really tight. The chorus sounds really sick as well. It's very, like, anthemic, very similar to, like, a lot of the other choruses they've done on this album, which is really tight. I like that they're kind of keeping a theme in that aspect. Little Lotus was really great. I think he was more of a highlight on that last chorus after the bridge. I thought that was really cool. I think he's got a great voice. And I think he adds to the track. Certainly there's this element of, like, because he's in If I Die First, but then he's also in, his emo rap project Little Lotus. And I feel like this is kind of like obviously, like, not as, like, not as post-hardcore-y as his stuff with I Die First, but I feel like there is some, like, elements of, like, emo rap and trap into the song. More specifically, I think in that bridge portion, there's a lot of, like, 808s and, like, kind of, like, low-end, like, bass lines and stuff like that. I feel like there's a lot more going on there in terms of the sounds. Vocally, I thought it was really tight. Rock is doing a great job of doing that, like, screaming and yelling. I like that combo. The other thing I really enjoy as well, too, is, again, I'll rehash a point, but I've been really enjoying the layering going on in a lot of these songs, and I think vocally there's a lot of stuff that you could miss out on upon a first listen, or maybe didn't catch in, like, a first chorus and then caught in the second chorus. There's a lot going on vocally, and I think that that's really neat to hear, like, some of the breaks, like, in terms of vocals and, like, how they're arranged, because I think it does make a huge difference in how these songs sound. Overall, I don't think it was a really particularly bad song off the album, but I think it's kind of mid. I think it's, like, right in the center of, like, not bad but not terrible, but also not great but not, like, 100% good. It's just kind of, like, I feel like it kind of sits right in the middle of the pack for this album, which is ironic because it literally is in the middle of the pack of the album. But yeah, I like it. I think this one was really well done. The way that they utilized Little Lotus was actually really good too. I like that he wasn't just for, like, one verse or, like, one portion of the song. I do like that he had more staying power and there was just a little bit more going on with his vocal feature as opposed to just, like, phoning it in. So I do appreciate that. I think it was really solid. But we're going to move into track number 8, which is Dehumanized. Let's give it a listen. Ooh, we get hit with a heavy one. Oh, the guitar riff. What the? Luca, what the fuck, man? Oh, we're gonna get a drop. No, we probably won't. That ending was tight, though. I like that. Ooh. That is fucking distorted. Anyway, guys, just tuned in. This was track number 8 off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. God, you know, I was talking a little bit of shit about there not being a heavy song on this album thus far. I mean, there's been moments. Don't get me wrong. There's been some really great moments of heaviness on this album, but whoo, this one was nasty. We like it. You know, this reminds me of older Within Destruction. I would argue like the previous Yokoi and like older records. This kind of has that sort of deathcore, just gruesomeness. You know, that's the best adjective I can use to describe this song. But this one was great. I want to give a huge shout outs to Howie because the riffs, this is a riff salad. We love it. You know, this is great. This was fantastic all around. Heavy moments, brutal moments, great guitar parts. The drumming from Luca was just otherworldly, especially that fucking like triggered drum. Oh, it was wild. It was wild. And that like middle portion of the song, which I was not expecting. And then at the end where you hit you with like the chunky, like distorted, like heavily distorted guitar, like chugs. Chef's kiss. We love it. This one, 10 out of 10. I think this one's the best one thus far. Arguably one of my favorites. I would put this up there with Lotus as well. Just a really dumb, stupid, ignorant track that I feel like a lot of people would love. And this one must go off live because if they aren't playing this shit, then, Within Destruction, you better be playing this shit live because this is great. This one's a dumb, stupid, heavy, ignorant track, and I love it. So, 10 out of 10. Dehumanize. Go give it a listen. But we're going to move into the next track. Track number 9. This one's called Illusions. Let's give it a listen. All right. Ooh, this is nice. I like this. Oh, I think I go. I like this. This is tight. Oof. Guys. Oh, that. Kudos. Guys, if you just tuned in, this was track number 9, Illusions, off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. Man, you know what? Listen, first 9, not bad. Back half, we getting it. We liking it. Dehumanized, like, just one of the dumbest, most ignorant heavy tracks. And this one, God, this one was a ripper. I liked this one a lot. It kind of reminded me a lot of like a heavier version of Era. It's got like the riff salad, which we love. We got another great guitar solo from my boy Howie. But man, this one is good. I think this one is the perfect, like, if I had to give a song for people who like trap music but also like heavy music, this is like the perfect mix, because I think there is a level of trap sounds going on in this song that I really enjoy. But also I think it's very like guitar riff central, which I love. And then the screams were wild on this song. Like there was some like high like Fry scream going on from like Rock, and that was great. And then he's hit us with some like lows. This one is like taking the cake for me. I think this one blends that perfect mix of really heavy music that they know how to do really well, but also incorporating those sort of EDM trap beats that, you know, we've been talking about with not only this record but also Yokoi. And then also I think the guitar work, the drumming on this track was super like progressive, like metalcore, and I was like all 100% for this one. So really like this one a lot. This one was a vibe. 10 out of 10. Again, we doubling it up. We, you know, Dehumanized was great. Illusions is great. I'm hoping that this next song we listen to is going to be fire. So, but yeah, this one 10 out of 10 would recommend listening to. Those two I think are my top favorites off this album thus far. We still have a few more, but you know, listen, they crushed it with those two. So we're gonna move it into track number 10. This one's called Neo-Yakuza. Let's give it a listen. All right, this feels very Yokoi-esque. This is gonna be like Hate Me, kind of. Alright, let's go. Ooh. Neo-Yakuza. Alright. Very new metal-esque. No trust, no hope for humanity. All this business of shit, they drain my energy. Fuck your enemies, fuck your friends, and all this pussy acting tough and bad. No one gives a fuck about you. Understand what I say, little bitch. Stay poor place, and while I'm getting rich. I never swing first. much fun. Alright, hit me with the freeze. Love it. Too much fun.
We just don't give a fuck. Just do your own fucking thing. No one gives a shit that never should you. Neo-yakuza.
Oh my god.
Neo-yakuza. Cyberkatana. Cyberkatana.
Oh my god. Let's go. All right, guys, track number 10. This one is neo-yakuza off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus, which you can go purchase down below. Go give it a listen. But I enjoyed this one. Cheesy as all fuck, don't get me wrong. Like, this is a cheeseball track, but I love it. It is like the perfect mix of just like trap beats, new metal, like, you know, emo rap. It's got that. It's just dumb. It's a fun, like, it's a dumb fun track. Like, you gotta have those songs on an album sometimes, and this is what I kind of like know that they do, right? Like, they're very like, they incorporate anime themes into their music. Like come on, like this is shouldn't surprise anybody. The type of song that this band can write, because this is the song that they clearly wrote and is on the album. But it's nothing too crazy. I like this, like, the syllabled nature of like the way that the guitar is kind of like, you know, chugged along with the vocals. I thought that was really neat. I just think like stylistically it was very interesting. You know, obviously technicality wise, you know, going from like Illusions, which was like blowing up the fucking roof here. I feel like neo-yakuza is like still a great track, don't get me wrong. Like, I love it. I love it for its cheese, but like it's not gonna be like in Illusions or like Dehumanized. You know, those were just like goated tracks. This one kind of feels like they're kind of but really enjoyed this one. This one was a fantastic track. Fun one all around. So you should give this one a listen. It's a goofball track. But we're gonna move it into the track 11. We're getting close to the end, guys. So if you do like this video, make sure to thumbs up, share it, like it, subscribe. Means a lot. Thank you guys for watching thus far, and join me for more. We just have a lot of good fun here over at the channel. But we're gonna move into track number 11. This one's called Pop. Let's see if it's got some pop elements. We're gonna find out. Oh, the breeze, baby. They really threw all the heavy shit on the end.
I'll make you feel the passion
god. Holy shit. Oh my god, the ending. What the Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh my god. All right, guys. Well, that was track God, I can't even speak. That was track number 11. This one was called Pop. It was definitely not pop related in any sort of way. God, that was I really ate my words on this one. They didn't lose the heavy. I just want to let you guys know that there's still heaviness to be oh my god. This song was so fucking heavy. Why? Like I understand cuz like deathcore is like that shit, but holy fuck, like that ending, I'm shook. Like that ending was wild. Like there is so many like triggered blast beats going on. Like holy fuck, there is just so much going on in this track. Like that is literally the only way I can describe this song. It is just wild. Like this is like a chaotic song. This is such a chaotic song, but it works so well. And like if you're an old fan of Within Destruction and you love their old like deathcore shit, this is like it. This is 100% it, because they blew me back. Like I got blown back. Like, you know, like I'm taking the L on that one, but god, this one was woo. This one's up there. I will say like it was just fucking heavy straight from the gate. But good song. This one, like Rock was not kidding around on this song. Like all of the members, like Luca went off, like Howie had a fucking sick guitar solo, like sweep picking, wild shit. This one felt like this elicited the same like reaction that I felt when I listened to the newest Lorna Shore EP. It was just like this, it just like deathcore on crack. Like how do you do this? Like I don't know how like your feet move that fast in terms of like the double pedal, like screaming wise, like let's just do whatever the fuck we want to do, like guitar wise, let's make it stupid heavy. Like it just worked. I don't know. This kudos to Within Destruction for really just doing it, because I've never elicited such a reaction as this one, but god, this one was just not what I was what I was expecting at all. I kind of had this idea that that it was gonna kind of be a little bit more melodic, and couldn't be further from the truth. So this one blew me back. This is probably my top 5 off the album, because it's just such a fucking nuts song, but it's so good. So anyway, guys, go check out Pop. This one was wild, and we're gonna get into the last track. I can't even speak because that's how fucked up I am. This is track number 12. This one is called Ultima. Let's give it a listen, and I'm wondering if this one's gonna blow me back too. Cool synth intro. I like this. Ooh, nice guitar. Or is that synth? I don't know. One of the two. This is sick. All right, guys. This was the last track number 12, Ultima, off of Within Destruction's newest record, Lotus. You can buy it in the links in the description. Please go purchase it. Go help your boys out. Gonna cop the vinyl. Oh, you already know. We love the vinyl here, so gonna cop that shit. Also, if anybody's selling Yokoi, let me know. Would love to pick that up as well. But this one's cool. I like this one a lot. Very similarly to Sakura off their previous album, Yokoi. I like that I like when they do an instrumental track. I feel like it might be happenstance that both that album and this album have an instrumental track. But listen, it's really cool when you get to hear just a band just rip it. And while it would have been cool to hear Rock on it, I would have, funnily enough, I think if Rock put some of his clean vocals on it, I think that would have been really sick. Nothing too crazy, but I think if he really worked it well, that could have been awesome. But I feel like they do at least one instrumental song as like a staple for the album, and I think this one was really fun. I love the synth layering, the guitar solo from Howie, and kind of taking more of the lead role in the guitar portion of it. Obviously, he does the rhythm guitars too, but that was really sick. And then, Luca's just holding it down on the drums, and I think that overall this song is just a really solid indicator that these guys can write fantastic songs, and they can write dummy heavy songs like pop, and I think that they kind of straddled the in between of being really technical, but then also at the same time just being dumb, ignorant, heavy, and I like that. I think that's what really draws me to this band, is that one song I could be listening to and it's just insane, rhythmically, drum wise, and vocally, Rock is just doing his shit, and then how he's just being ignorant with some dumb low tune guitar, and it's great. Love that. But then I also feel like they expanded more into the more technical side of their band. So songs like Illusions, I would even say Survival kind of has that sort of vibe as well. Even possibly songs like Dying World, where there's just a little bit more melodicness to it and a little bit more attention to just the song itself, not necessarily can we make it just dumb heavy, because if that's the case, then you might as well just listen to P.O.P or Dehumanize, because those are the heaviest two tracks off the album. But I think this is a nice mix. I feel like they're kind of if I had to kind of genre classify them, they're a mix between trap, new metal, metalcore, and deathcore. That's probably the kind of variety of music that you'll get from this album. I will say, upon first listen, do I think it's as good as Yokoi? I think it's a little early to tell. But I would still say Yokoi is an album that I listen to a lot, and is in my rotation every once in a while. So I do frequent that album a lot, and I hope that my intention is to frequent this album a little bit more. And obviously I'll be probably talking about it again once I do the albums of the year closer to the end of the year. But I like this one. This one was really solid. I think that there was definitely some highlights certainly on this album. More specifically, I probably picked some of my favorites. I think Illusions is probably my favorite song off the album. Probably Dehumanize is second. I probably put P.O.P at third, Lotus at fourth, and I would probably put maybe Survival at fifth, and then an honorable mention, I would say Ultima. I really enjoyed that one. I thought that was really well done. While it didn't have any vocals in it, I think sonically it was just very beautiful, and a great way to end off the album, I will say as well, because I feel like I didn't get to mention that. But overall, really solid record from the guys and Within Destruction. If you like the album and you liked listening to it with me, thank you so much for watching, whether you're watching now or you're going to be watching it later. I do appreciate you, because these are really fun for me to do, and I love interacting with you guys. So if you want to come, if you want to know about when I do these again, make sure to subscribe, hit that like, share it. It means a lot. The notoriety recently that I've been getting in the videos that I've been doing recently has been awesome. People that have been commenting on them have been great. So if you have any suggestions for albums you want me to do before this year's over with, or older albums, let me know, because there's plenty of bands that I probably have not listened to that I would like to get into. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments below. We really appreciate it. Again, want to give a massive shout outs to James at Savior Management and also Within Destruction for allowing me to do this. Love those guys both. They're awesome people, so go give them some love. Again, links below to go purchase Within Destruction's newest album, Lotus, so go give it some love. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out. I posted an interview pretty recently with Gold Steps. They're like a pop punk band from Milwaukee, so go check that out if you're into that. There are some heavier bands that I'm going to be doing. Again, I'll also leave a link to Howie and I's interview that we did a few months ago. So if you want to know more about Within Destruction, that's going to be the best place to watch it. But thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you're watching in the past, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And we'll be talking with you guys